Hey guys, this is Ixroll at Ix with Rollout Reviews bringing you another LBX review. This time it is Dan Balsinki Wars Dot Blaze. Now this is a design from the Dan Balsinki Wars video game, which I have never played. In fact, I've never played any of the Dan Balsinki video games. I exclusively watch the show and by extension collect the models. And as a collector, I generally stick to things I like the source material of, watching shows and movies, and then getting toys from them because I had a connection to the characters. This is one of those rare anomalies where I have no idea what this is. I have no idea what part it plays in the video game or what it even does. I just really like the design and got it for no other reason. Anyway, taking a look at the manual here, we can see some nice product images of a model painted up and built by a professional modeler. You're not going to get something that looks nearly this good right out of the box. Up here we have Dot Blaze shooting up some fools, and over here we have a player they've chosen to assign this model, I guess. This is Andre Gregory from the anime. He actually shows up in the show, but he's from Rossius, and from what I've gathered from the Dan Balsinki wiki, this is a Harness LBX, Harness the virtual country, and he's from Rossius, so a little bit of confusion there. It would surely help if I could read Japanese. Anyway, down here it says it's a conversion model, meaning it comes with all of the parts to make a recolored Dot Phaser and extra parts to make Dot Blaze, so quite a bit of value there. On the back, we have a little Arata showing off all of the features and a little bit of a customization. On the inside, we have the full color instructions that are easy to follow that we've come to know and love. However, if we turn to the back page here, we can see there's a section cut out. This is my first LBX with a paper cape, made out of the same material that the manual is made out of. You have to cut it out, and at first I wasn't sure how to feel about that, but well, we'll talk about my opinions in just a bit. Anyway, let's take a look at the model itself. Now, as I said, this is something Bandai is calling a conversion model, basically a 2-in-1 kit with an alternate build. The alternate build for this one is a recolored Dot Phaser. It comes with everything the original Dot Phaser came with. All of the parts here to turn his weapon into all of his different forms, the effect part, the shield, and all that jazz. Except this time, it's in a tan color rather than white. Now, my Dot Phaser here doesn't have all of the weapons because I display him in the riding armor and all of that's packed away in a baggie, but you get the idea. Everything that was white on this guy is now tan, meaning that some of the color differentiation in the legs and the chest is now lost because it's all the same color. The most different parts are the thighs, the forearm guards, and the chest, which all have extra stickers and kind of stray away from the color scheme that this guy set up. And that's because those are essentially all of the parts that remain when we turn him into Dot Blaze. But basically, it's the same exact model. So, let's turn it into something different. So here is Dot Blaze, and to me, he looks like an old western gunslinger version of Dot Phaser, obviously with the guns and the little bandoliers down here, but also his brown color scheme, his big boots, and his cape sort of resembling a Good, the Bad, and the Ugly Clint Eastwood style poncho with the way it comes up in front here. Either way, he's definitely ready for a Mexican standoff. Now, Dot Blaze's articulation is very similar to Dot Phaser, obviously. The head doesn't really run into anything at all. Even though it does have this cape section around it, there's plenty of room in there to get all the expression you want. The shoulders start running into things. You can only bring the arm out about this far, but that's really as far as you're going to need for a lot of the poses you want to get him into. However, if you bring the shoulder forward like this, you do want to be aware of where the cape is, because you don't want that running into this. The elbows, they bend to the extent that they did on Dot Phaser, and he obviously has the ball-jointed wrist. The rotation at the waist isn't hindered at all. These little bandolier sections, the little ammo holsters, I guess. You could also perceive them as being maybe like little grenades, but whatever the case, they can rotate here on the pivot that the wheel was attached, and then they also rotate a little bit. So you can pretty much get them out of the way in any pose and have them rest on his hips however you like. The legs, they go in and out, forward and back, no hindrances there at all. The knees bend, and again, very similarly, have not a lot getting in the way. The ankle is really weird because the joint, the ball joint where it attaches here, is really far forward. So when you bring the foot forward like this, you have this wide gap there, and from some angles that looks a little bit ugly, so again, be aware of that. But for the most part, his articulation is pretty standard. The cape back here is attached to the multi-gimmick sack point here, and you can kind of rotate it just a little bit if you want the cape off to the side, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. As for stickers, he has the ones up here on his head. All of the tan details that go on the red here are stickers, and they can kind of be a pain to apply, but once they're on there, you do have a section up here that you can move the head without touching them, so you don't scuff those up, which is nice. And they do end up looking fairly well, I think. He looks a little more like insect-like, in my opinion, a little more beetle-esque. He also has these little stickers down here. Either way, I really like the crest on his head. It's a nice change. The stickers on his shoulders are a little bit annoying because they're very thin, and especially these ones up here I find peel just a little bit. He has two right there and two really thin ones up top, one up here and one that mirrors it on the other side. They are the worst stickers of the bunch, and that's saying a lot because they're not really all that bad. On his arms, he does have this one big sticker. This guard section is actually the tan color, and he has a red line of stickers there, very similar to the ones on Dot Phaser, but he also has a big brown sticker here, and those aren't too bad. I like them, actually, you know. That they add a lot of color to it, I guess. The one on the chest here, I do see a little bit of wear on it just by holding him like this, so you might want to be a little careful of that, but it does end up looking really good with the black there, and obviously the little red stickers that were present on Dot Phaser before. And then he's got these stickers on the inside of his legs this time, which are very nice as well. They do kind of make his legs look a little bit like chaps, in my opinion, which again adds to the sort of gunslinger vibe to him. I really like the details on his boots. He's got a sticker here, this little red bit, and a brown sticker that goes around the back here, as well as the little red one up here. They're kind of like little jet boots with fans up here, implying, I guess, that he could levitate or fly or jump to an extent. Whatever the case, they're a really cool design, and they go along with his shoulders here, which also have the vents and sort of a propulsion system back here. Either way, the aesthetic is really, really cool. Now, the cape. It is made of paper, and this is nothing new to the Dan Balsinki line. Any LBX in the main line that had a cape, it was made of paper right out of the manual. And I could see this working really well, actually, not being a problem whatsoever, if it was just a normal, straight cape like the majority of the other ones are. But the fact that this one is like a jaggedy cape makes it really, really difficult to cut out. Now, if you have a keen eye, you'll notice it's actually like flipped on mine than what it looks like on the box. That's because the instructions tell you to put the side that the dotted line is on the outside. And if you do a little bit of a better job cutting it out than I do, you can kind of get rid of the dotted line that comes around the edge, but I didn't do too great of a job doing that. Either way, I think it looks better on the inside because I like the clean side being on the outside, especially seeing as that dotted line is mostly hidden by shadows when it's on this side. So that's just personal preference. But the fact that it's jagged makes it a little bit tricky to cut out of the manual, and that's not really a big problem, I don't think, because if you do a hack job and don't really do it very well, it's a tattered cape anyway, so it doesn't really look out of place. Overall, I like the cape a bit more than I expected to. Just don't get it in the way and don't have it in a position that would bend it, and it's just fine. Obviously, don't take him out in the rain either. In the end, I actually was going to cancel my pre-order for this guy, and I am super, super glad I didn't. This is ending up to be one of my favorite LBXs just because I love the design so much. The Western gunslinger cowboy theme really works for me in so many ways, and it won't do it for everybody, especially people who aren't into the games and don't like the look of this design, but it really does it for me. You get a lot of value out of this kit having both all of the dot phaser parts and the extra dot blaze parts for essentially the same price, and all I can say is if you play the games and you're familiar with this, you're probably going to want it, but otherwise, I don't think it's very necessary. If you like the design, then by all means get it, but it's a very kind of situational purchase. You know, it's not an essential by any means. And that seems to be where the LBX model kit line is going, because the show is over as of now, and until a new series is announced, they're basically releasing remolds and recolors of previous models to match the games. And someone like me who hasn't played the game, a lot of the times, those designs aren't going to work for me. So from here on out, I don't think I'm going to buy every single one of them, but this one, just on the design alone, was a definite purchase. So that is about it, guys, and this is IXRoll@IX, signing off.